Okay, this is Dave with OC Astronomy. I'm here again trying to get my CGX mount working. As you can see, I've had to take some things apart. I experienced last night, I had really good sky conditions, not very much wind, and my mount was doing a very poor job of tracking in right ascension. And the trouble was, it was hopping. The guide star would be guiding, and then all of a sudden it would stop, and then it would go, "Meh," and then it would stop for a little while and catch up, and then it would guide for a little while and then jump. And it did this several times, and as you can imagine, it totally destroyed my star images. They look like star trails because of all the hops that it was doing. It was hopping like 10 to 15 pixels at a time. So I actually was looking into doing a hypertune and sending it off for service, but I called the guy at Hypertune and he said first you should try to adjust the right ascension backlash motor, the adjustment on this spring tension. I'm going to see if I can show you because the manual is not very good. There's a spring right here and an adjustment stop right here. Let's see if I can get that centered where it'll show. And what this is allows it to do is it allows for some range of motion here in this. Let's see if I can get it. It's hard to do. It's very minimal, but see if you can see that. Let's see if I can get that right where it needs to be. I can push with my thumb and you can see it moves a little bit. That spring, the spring that's right here allows for a little bit of wiggle. And I've dialed this in to where I'm going to stop doing any adjustments right now because this is about as much play as they say it should have, about 1 millimeter. And that's, I'm judging it based on this cable right here, how much motion it has relative to that. It's very small, but it does move. It's free to move now. Whenever I first opened it up, and I had the motor was mounted right here. The motor goes right in here. I took the motor out because I found out from an online forum that there are also some other screws you need to worry about when you're doing this. Up in here, it's very difficult to see. Let's see if I can get it. It's hard. There's a screw right in here and one right in here on either side of the worm gear, and those are kind of to lock it in position. And then there's another mystery set of screws right back here, right there, the big one and that one. And I'll try and do this real quick. I'll try and show you. If you get out your trusty Allen wrench, and loosen this one, the one that's by the RA shaft. Let's see if I can do that real fast. If I loosen that one, and then I come in here and loosen this adjuster one, see if I can do that, then the mount will, it gets a lot more spongy. So you have to actually kind of play with it. This one here, adjusting it, and you can really see the wiggle now. See, it wiggles too much now. That's too much. And so what that will do, if you wiggle it too much, it'll cause backlash problems. So what you want to do is find a happy place where you adjust that, and okay, that's still a little bit loose, but now I'm going to go in and tighten this down a little bit. That's going to load some spring tension on there. So if I tighten that down some, great, I dropped my Allen wrench. If I tighten that down now, it's probably still too loose. Pick up my Allen down here. So anyway, it takes adjusting both of those, and you have to loosen the two screws that are right here and right here. They're hexes. They're a little bit larger head hexes. If you do that to where you can actually have a little bit of play in this block, then you can actually adjust it to where you get a little bit of spring movement. Right now it's too much. I'm not gonna leave that much play in it. You want it to just be able to move a little bit, and the whole point of that is inside of here. You can see, I'll try and use a pointer. You can see the worm, and then the worm on the RA axis. So this is what transmits the motion from the motor to the RA axis. You actually have the motor to a belt, then the belt drives the gear, and then the gear drives the worm. And so this is a problem. The problem is it's so tightened down and locked down from the factory that there was not any play in it at all. All the play had been dialed out. It was completely fixed. And so what the guy at Hypertune explained to me was, as it's trying to drive it and it gets stuck, eventually the motor will apply enough torque to break it free. And this is on a very small scale. It's doing it at very low speeds. And so eventually it'll get enough and then break the stiction, then get enough and break the stiction. And so you're getting, the star will appear to hop back and forth as it breaks that stiction knot. This is, in my mind, it's a little bit worse problem with backlash. Backlash will kind of allow it to wobble some, but you can compensate for backlash by just adjusting your mount weight. You can adjust it east heavy or west heavy, and it'll take care of the backlash. But with this problem with the stiction, it's really hard to get in here and diagnose. But now that I've got a little bit of play in here, I'm going to tighten it down where there's not quite so much, and then I'm going to see if that really will help improve my guiding performance. I really expected a lot out of this mount. I didn't expect to have so many problems, but at least this one is one that's user adjustable, and you don't have to send it into Celestron for a replacement. So this is at least something that you can try. So if you're having that problem with the stars hopping forward, or your guiding is producing X-shaped bloated stars, and they're elongated on the X-axis, this may be why. So good luck, and hopefully you'll have better luck than me.